Today, in the middle of January, I'm starting 120 onions from seed. I've grown onions every year since I started gardening. Some years I will start as sets, and other years I will either direct sow into the soil or I will start indoors. I have found that the years that I started with sets, while it's very convenient to just go to a local nursery and pick up onions that have already started, I found that those onions do not store as long as the ones that I grow from seed. So today I have 3 varieties. I'll be planting 40 seedlings of each, and then hopefully I'll be able to get them in the ground by the mid or end of March. First, let me show you the equipment that I have. I have 3 of each. I have these trays, which are actually going to house the soil and the seeds, and each one of these have 40 blocks, so 40 onions each. Then I have 3 of these containers here. These containers are going to house the seedlings like this. The water is going to collect in these trays to allow the water to come up through the bottom of these trays. Each one of these 40 cells has a little hole at the bottom, and it allows the water to come up through the soil and the roots. Then of course I have 3 of these containers. They're little domes that go on top. They collect the moisture and the heat to allow the seedlings to grow. I almost forgot that each one of these comes with a little contraption here so that you can turn it to allow the heat to escape. These setups are pretty standard. This is what you're going to find in most of these seedling starting trays. Pretty basic stuff, but it's going to be necessary to help create the environment that your seedlings need to grow. Now, normally I would make my own seedling starter mix, but this is the best alternative because right now I can't find the soil that I usually like to use because the ground is frozen. But Jiffy is a really, really great alternative. I've added my seeds to this container. Now I'm going to add some water to wet it down. This part's kind of fun. I'm looking for my soil to have this consistency. When I bunch it up like this, it stays in that shape. Now I'm just going to take the soil and add it into my containers. Really want to make sure that each cell has the maximum amount of soil. One down, 2 to go. Woo! No. Oh man. All right. 2. Last one. And 3. All right, I have my first onion, which is a Monastrell. This is an intermediate day onion. These are the kind of onions that I need to grow with my day length. Now, these say specifically that it is attractive red storage onion. That tells me that they're going to last a little bit longer than my onion sets. At least, I hope so. I'm going to put 2 seeds in each cell, and then I'm barely going to cover it with the soil. I'm going to put them right. I need a song that I can sing while I'm doing this. And don't feel like you have to make sure you get exactly 2 seeds in each. I would say that you want to make sure you have at least 2 seeds in each cell. Not necessarily that you have to have just 2 seeds. Since this seed tray is just all one variety, I'm not too worried about the seeds going from one cell to another. So if I accidentally get 3 or 4 seeds in each cell, no big deal. Just gonna make sure that each one has 2 at least. Oop! And then I'm gonna put the rest back. I'm gonna cover gently. My friend the cricket is back. Just gonna cover the soil very gently. I'm just gonna go back through and make sure that each one that I have here, that I cover just barely. I know that they're black and they can be hard to see, but I can still see when there is a little seed because I know what I'm looking for. If I was just looking at this tray, I wouldn't think that those black parts were seeds. But since I know what the seeds look like, I am just kind of spotting them out and covering them over lightly with soil. Okay, this tray is done, so I'm gonna cover it with the dome, and I'm gonna add this little humidity helper. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to snap it on there. Like, come on, come on, yay, there we go. I've added this little humidity regulator here. Top goes on. This is ready to go. 1 down, 2 to go. This is a sweet yellow onion called Almagro, again from Territorial Seed. I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did with the other ones and repeat it again with the next variety. Now I'm planting 2 in each cell because I wanna make sure that I come out with at least 40 onion seedlings. Seeds don't necessarily always come up, especially not at the same time. So I want to make sure that I have 40 of this variety to plant in my garden when it's time. I almost forgot. I gotta cover it up. Hopefully this one goes in a little bit easier now that I know what to do. Yep, there we go. And I'm gonna turn it to make sure that there's no humidity escaping. 1 more. My last one for today is Expression, and it also has storage underneath the name, which tells me that these are gonna last a lot longer. This is just your regular old yellow onion. Ooh, uh-oh. This is not something that I anticipated. This one does not have as many seeds in here as the others. So I'm gonna actually have to go back and be more, any cell that I can tell has more than 2 seeds, I'm just gonna take those extra out of there so that I can again make sure that I have at least 2 in each. There we go. That wasn't so bad. All right, don't forget to cover. There we go. And done. Yay. Normally I would write the name with a marker onto these plant markers, but I don't have a marker. I forgot to bring it down here into the greenhouse. So instead, because each one of these has the same variety in each container, I just put the seed packets on top so that I can come back later and I will write in that marker. I don't know about you, but I use onions in just about every meal, so I'm excited to have an entire fall and winter full of onions in my storage. Once these seeds germinate, I'll add a light that's about 1 inch away from the top of the plant so that they're not reaching for that light too much. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specific to seed starting that you would like me to cover. Happy gardening!